Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Relax, big boy.
Team One podcast? One podcast? Yeah, they did a good job. Really good. Yeah. Why is he so fat?
Team One podcast. Team One podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back. One Team, One Podcast episode. Having all these malfunctions. Episode 68, guys. Really care, and it just hit just now. Kind of what I mean. Everybody was, it's the worst case scenario, but obviously Corey. I think it's Gauthier, the way you pronounce her name, but. That was the body that was found out in reserve down the Mississippi River. Terrible news. I work at a news station in my day job, and I kind of knew this was probably coming, but it's still nonetheless is just terrible, terrible, terrible news. So prayers up to the family. That's just now coming out right now. So it's just awful, awful news. One Team One Podcast. I am solo at the moment. I see intern Jack driving up right now. Intern Jack is late. And he's an unpaid intern, guys, but I'm not quite sure what the punishment should be for this. Should we have a punishment? And I think that we need to figure that out in the chat. If you guys can let me know what the punishment is going to be for Jack. Let me see if he's walking fast. He's not even walking. He's fucking not even walking fast to the door. It's amazing. These kids. Sam, what the heck you doing by yourself? Yeah, I'm riding solo, riding dirty over here. Got my J's on. I got my drink over here. We're good. I got my little concoction made. So here he comes. Here he comes to explain himself. It's going to be intern Jack walking in anytime now here. Oh, he's still not in here yet. So anyway, here he comes. It's he's in. Yeah, we're started already. That's cool. All right. So we started off with terrible news. The body of Corey Goche was just found. So, and I know that's a huge deal for the LSU community, obviously, but yeah, oh Jack. So anyway, yeah, man, it's kind of a rough time to start a podcast, but here we are anyway. But we also have some other breaking news that just hit. It just hit, and I'm so glad, guys. Today we're gonna have Cody Worsham joining us in about, I'd say, 8 minutes. Maybe he might be running a little late with all this breaking stuff going on. I'm not quite sure, but also we're gonna have
Garrett. Get harassed about it.
Huh?
Wonder if he'll get harassed about it.
I don't know. But we'll also have Garrett from fifth quarter LSU coming on at about 6:45. I see him in the chat right now. All right, here's some of the breaking news that just happened. All right, so hold on. Let me get my
a little staticky on that one.
I know. This is fucking. Andre Hyatt has entered the portal.
Shocker. Actually,
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Actually, it is kind of surprising. He
seems
like he just seems like a program kind of guy.
You know,
what I mean?
they listed him as a guard in the article that I read. It was Saturday Down South.
Guard/forward, sure.
He's not a guard.
He's a 2/3.
He's fucking not a guard. Like, he's just a small forward.
Sure.
He likes the rebound. He likes to get in the paint. He likes
a lot of people call the 3 a guard, though, in certain systems. And like in our system, a 3 is a guard.
Hey, he's
for
not
LSU. It's not like he played in the post.
Him and Mwani Wilkinson are not guards. Like, and I had that argument with Brandon Lejean earlier about the same thing. I just don't feel
he's a wing. He's a wing, though.
They're forwards. They're small forwards that are just too small.
I guess.
I don't mind him transferring.
Mwani's a lot different.
I don't mind Hyatt transferring because you got guys coming in, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about guys like Gaines and guys like Cook transferring.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's something I want to talk to Cody about.
If Cook transferred, that would be the least surprising thing of anybody on the team.
I agree, because he didn't get any minutes last year.
And he's about to have the same problem this year with Pinson coming in.
Yeah,
and then hopefully we get
Gaines your
Miller.
Is Gaines your point guard over Cook?
He's not your point guard. He's not your point guard over Pinson.
I know, but over Cook though.
No, I mean yes, he is over Cook.
But would he play off guard? I think those are the questions that
I think he would play the 2.
These are some of the things that I want to bring up to Cody. And guys, if you have any questions for Cody in the chat, please let me know. Put them in there. I want to kind of get. We're going to talk about some basketball recap. We'll talk about the transfer portal, but we're also going to talk about spring football. And Cody is now over strategic communications for LSU. He's also doing the digital reporting, so he's got a big job over there. Obviously, he knows that. I talked to him on the phone late last week. He understands the job that he has. There's a lot of cleanup going on at LSU, and he's kind of part of that effort. But you get your questions in. He'll join us in a few minutes. Hey, before we do anything else, though, I want to big shout out to all of our sponsors. First of all, I reached out to Patrick Michelson over at Bank of England Mortgage today. I had posted the Joe Burrow statue post on Facebook, and I posted it on Twitter.
Sure.
I sent him over, like, I actually tagged him. I think God, I tagged him. I tagged him on that post as like a paid sponsorship. And I showed him today on Facebook. He had like 15,000 impressions on that post alone. And I was like, see, here you go. So we appreciate those guys for supporting us. He was talking to us about payment today. They're really good guys over there. You need to check out Bank of England Mortgage. They can do any loan for you. So any home loan, obviously, refis, new purchase, get in touch with these guys. Patrick lives out in St. Francisville at the Bluffs. He'd love to play golf with you as well. So reach out to Patrick. Let him know that the podcast sent you. We would really appreciate that. Hopefully a long-time sponsor to come for Bank of England Mortgage. And you'll see their info on the screen down here below me. I need to do a better job of making that visible. For fuck's sake. What the hell was that all about? So anyway,
that little logo down there.
Yeah, see it right here.
Yeah, I didn't even know what you're talking about at first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, Ether Insurance. Big shout out to Adam Emirata at Ether Insurance. Check out those guys. They can do quotes for you right at that website below. Any kind of quote you need for any kind of insurance you need. So they're a one-stop shop for insurance. They can also do real estate. So ask Adam if you need a realtor as well. Bear Process Safety, the Big Orange Bear. Always doing work. He was asking me to play golf last weekend, and I couldn't play. I was pretty bummed out about it. Check out Bear Process Safety. Any process safety for plant and industrial. You guys talk to your safety managers about Bear. Bear will hook you up. All right. Brandon Lejean over at Courtesy Buick GMC. They're getting, I think they're taking pre-orders now for the new Hummer. So they have the new Hummer coming in as well.
Nice.
So give these guys a call. They do pre-orders like crazy on like all the new Tahoes and everything coming in. They'll
They got any good Coach O commercials over there?
Coach O commercials?
The Hummer?
No.
Nothing?
No, none of that. But anyway, give him a call on a pre-order, but also check him out on Facebook. He gets deals all the time coming in on his Facebook page. So give those guys a reach. Also, Relief Pools. You need to go check out my guys at Relief Pools. That is Ben Landry at Relief Pools. He is pumping them out right now. He is actually booked out until I think June at this point, but he showed a couple of pictures of some spas that he's doing. I'm telling you, I used to have a pool and a hot tub, and I can tell you if I did it again, which I will eventually, we have a little space set up for it. I'm going to do a hot tub, no pool. I use the hot tub all the time. We didn't use the pool hardly ever.
I was the only one that used your pool.
You were. You would come over all the time.
Me, Charlie, and William would all come over. Yeah.
Exactly. And I never used it, so I wouldn't do it again. It was a waste of money. But the hot tub, I used it every day, and it was almost like me and my wife would get in there, debrief about the day in the hot tub. It was the best thing we ever had. Also, Bogies. Check out Bogies. They are open to full capacity now. They had a Masters Sunday. They're doing crawfish on Sundays as well. So check out Bogies, our friends over there at Tigerland. Go check them out. We really appreciate all of them. All right, so we have Cody Worsham joining us in just a second here. The man, the myth, the legend, Cody Worsham. The trolley ball legend, Cody Worsham.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's already shaking his head. Here he comes. He's joining us. How you doing, Cody? You doing all right?
What's up, guys? You got the That's Joe version of Cody, no shave.
Okay.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
shave.
I've been at the beach for about 5 days and just got back.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, took
Talking
a little
to you
mini.
You're on vacation. Look, you're a good guy, man.
Little mini vacation. I just got back a couple hours ago, so we're good.
You were at the beach the last time we were talking to you too?
No, I took off. We took off Saturday, and then was I at the beach?
We were straight COVID. I think we were straight COVID quarantine at that point.
Yeah, that's all a blur. That whole time period is a blur.
I know. Can you imagine doing COVID last year with this weather that we're having this year?
Yeah, it's I've been having COVID flashbacks. I just watched Last Chance U, the basketball one, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
ends.
Yeah, yeah,
Spoiler
yeah.
alert! It ends with COVID.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
see it all, so you just
yeah, sorry,
Someone
spoiler
spoiled it
alert.
for me before I finished it too.
But I've been having flashbacks, and then like your memories on Facebook pop up from like a year ago,
Yeah,
and you're like,
for
oh
sure.
man, I'm so glad. Now
And
here we are a year later.
and we started our podcast during COVID, so
So
a
many
lot
bad
of
things
memories
happen.
that we're having are like I bought a mic or whatever. It's like look at us now. Look at
Look at you.
Look at the little engine going. I know.
Professional setup.
That's right. All right. So a few things that we wanted to talk about, and all this breaking news just happened right as we went online. I know you know about it, but obviously the prayers to the family of Corey. I think it's Goche, right? Cody, right?
That's how I would say it. Yeah.
Goche. Man, that I work at a news station, so I kind of had a hint of what was going on here, but just terrible situation there. But I know the whole LSU community has kind of wrapped their arms around that. But then we just heard about, we were wanting to talk about LSU basketball and maybe the transfer portal, and we're hearing Andre Hyatt has entered his name into the portal. So kind of wanted to get a recap of basketball, and I know you did too. Like we're huge LSU basketball fans, and I've been a basketball fan. I mean, since I have a Chris Jackson, poster on the wall here, but we're getting to the rise of basketball with Will Wade here. What are your thoughts on the direction of the program, and are we about to see a big overhaul in roster here?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to see. Well, let me answer that question second. Let me answer your first question first.
Sure.
The overall direction, speaking of flashbacks, I think back to the 2016-17 season. I was working at Tiger Rag, and I had been covering LSU basketball pretty hard at Tiger Rag before then. But I remember that season in particular. That was the season that they lost 15 in a row, 16 in a row, and went 2 and whatever in the conference, and it was just a dark season. And you could kind of see like LSU basketball had bottomed out, and it was like, all right, well, when are they going to get out of this hole and kind of get back to where we think they should be, at least, and competitive in the SEC and making those runs every couple of years and just being an exciting program. If you would have told me that year that LSU would hire a guy and by the time he got through his fourth season, they'd have won the most games in the SEC out of any program in that time frame, or that they'd have won an SEC title, that they'd have made tournaments and back-to-back tournaments and won games in those tournaments, I'd have said sign me up right now. So
yeah, absolutely.
From an on-court perspective and the way they've played, and the teams they've built, you can't ask for much more. For the roster overhaul, yeah, you're going to have to see it just because all those guys are gone, and so I have to be a little bit careful because I don't know what I can and can't. That's the fun thing about working about LSU is I never know what I can and can't talk about. I don't know if I can talk about certain guys until they sign stuff or whatever, but would
the names you get in trouble, or would I get in trouble here?
I think everyone would get in trouble. I think you'd get in trouble. Okay. I'd get in trouble.
I'm used to getting in trouble by LSU, so go ahead.
Now.
I am not used to it, and I would like to keep it that way. So
I agree.
But the names that are out there, and you've seen some of the guys that have been linked in the portal, and you saw the Hyatt news today that was reported. Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. But that tends to be the nature of college basketball anyway. That tends to be the nature of Will's teams. There's turnover every year. This year was kind of the exception to that rule where they brought back a bunch of guys. That doesn't typically happen. I think that's why his expectations for the season were so high, because they brought so many guys back. So he's used to that. But I think when you look at the guys that you do expect back for next year, and some of the comments that Will's made in recent interviews, it's got a chance to be aesthetically a team that I think people like a little bit more. It'll be a scrappier team. It'll be a ball movement team on offense. It'll be a team that is maybe a little more, I don't want to say fun to watch, because I didn't find this team not fun to watch necessarily.
Right.
There was a lot of ISO ball. It was a lot of maximizing the talents of the team that way. I don't think next year's team will be like that. You may have a guy or two that can ISO, but I think you're going to have a lot of guys coming off screens, a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of, maybe they play a little bit slower on offense. Maybe defensively they're a little bit stronger. So it'll be different. It'll be maybe the most unique team he's had since his first year, but it'll be a challenge. But Will, he's really good at this. He's really good at roster building and evaluating weaknesses and playing to his team's strengths. And I think that's where they'll be next year.
What are your thoughts on? I know we've seen Xavier Pinson already, and we already have a question in the chat. How are we feeling about Xavier and Seneca Wright as far as coming in and I guess being immediate starters? I would assume, right? Both of them.
Yeah, again, one of those names I don't know if I can acknowledge. I just don't know.
Seneca Wright.
I haven't seen the paperwork. I've been on vacation.
I gotcha.
Seneca, I can talk about Seneca for
trying
sure.
to remember if I saw an LSU tweet about that, but I think it's just an Instagram post. So yes.
Yeah. If you see if while I'm talking you see anything, you can tell me. Let me know.
Okay.
Maybe I should text Kent Lowe. I don't want to give Kent Lowe a heart attack and start talking about something I'm not supposed to. But I can talk about Seneca for sure because I've seen Seneca around. One thing that I can say about Seneca is, well, two things I can say about him. He looks the part. Physically, he looks like a guy that can come in and play and
long
in
too,
SEC.
right?
What's that?
He's long too, right?
Yeah, he's a 6'6", 6'7", a legit lengthy guy. Well built. He's not huge, but he's well defined. The other thing I can say about him is as high character a kid as you could ask for. And I say that from secondhand experience. I've only met him once, but talking to people whose opinions I trust very highly say the best kid you could ever imagine. So that's encouraging. And then you look at his numbers and what he did at he was at San Jose State, right?
That's right. Yep.
The numbers speak for themselves. You don't put up those kind of numbers at the D1 level and not know how to play the game. So I think he'll be a big part of what they do. I think Fudge will be a big part of what they do. Getting that extra semester under his belt of preparation, I think is going to be important. He's one that they've got to build up a little bit, but Josh LeBlanc will be in a bigger role. Mawani will be in a bigger role. I love Jalen Cook. I think he'll be in a bigger role. And then Eric Gaines, I think there's more to Eric. I think Eric Gaines could have a Tim Quarterman type of impact.
I'm so glad you said that because that's who I've been comparing him to, Tim Quarterman. He just that long, lanky, energetic defender.
Yep. And he's both from Georgia, both South Georgia guys. Gaines is a little, he's not quite as long as Quarterman was, but he's got a little more explosiveness to him. Quarterman was more long, crafty.
Right.
Gaines is crafty, but he's got some real explosiveness to him, and I think he's got more scoring punch than he showed this year. So those guys will all be big parts of what they do, and a lot of question marks. But I think this is where Will is really good is this time of year, developing guys, bringing in guys to fill in gaps and start building that team for the future.
Yeah, and I didn't find anything on the other guy, so we're not even going to mention him. But
what other guy?
Yeah, he's going to be a starter. We all know it. Anyway, another question is Sharif, if he can stay healthy, is he a starting five? And I can probably answer that for you. He's probably not. I would say he's a role player at this point with kind of the other guy. I almost feel like the guys that are coming back are all role players at this point. I don't know if anybody coming back. I'm not sure who would start.
I think we still have we haven't seen Sharif fully healthy since he was in high school. So
no,
I would be if he was fully healthy. I actually think that he's very capable of being starting five.
Well, I mean,
all season,
I think with
even
the length,
when he was playing,
the
he was,
length
he was
alone, a guy like Gerald Colbert, I don't know what I'm getting out of him yet. I want to see some. I think a lot of LSU fans, and I'll just. Cody, you may know this already, but I feel like a lot of LSU fans are missing the piece of you get a guy that stays for 3 or 4 years and they develop year after year. We're used to guys maybe being here for a couple of years and then they want to go pro, and we don't get to see a full development of a 4-year player for a lot of these guys. It kills me to know that this past year, we could have had Tremont Waters as a senior on this team.
Yeah.
It just absolutely crushes my soul. And a guy like Darius Days, I would want Darius Days to come back and be, my comparison to Darius Days has always been Draymond Green. And be like a guy that could develop into that kind of player in a senior year. But then you got guys that Who was I even talking about when I was going on this tangent just now?
Tremont.
No, there was somebody else. We were just
Sharif.
talking about Sharif O'Neal. All right, so Sharif O'Neal is to me a role player. You got a guy like Gerald Colbert that could be starting, and I don't know who's going to fit into a starting lineup. I mean, I would think Josh LeBlanc. I don't even know what my question is at this point. I'm just so like full of like ideas of a roster. I don't know. I just want you know.
It's really early to speculate on that. Like a big issue is you're going to have to replace Cam Thomas, even going further back than that, Skylar Mays, kind of that two guard that could get a bucket for you. I think we know who the answer there may be. I think the Brandon Murray kid that they've signed has a little bit of that to him too.
Yeah,
you touched on an interesting philosophical perspective of the 4-year guy versus the one and done type. And where you fit in that scale. We just saw Baylor win a national championship with a bunch of third, fourth-year guys.
One of them's from Lake Charles, Vital. I mean,
Vital was from Lake Charles. Jared Butler's from played at Riverside.
Right.
But LSU signed Javonte Smart instead of Jared Butler. That's how that works. So it's a balance, and I think you have to know your program and what you can recruit to and how you can recruit. And Will has kind of identified this low 5-star type of player, the Nas Reeds, the Trenton Watfords, the Emmett Williams, who are 5 stars, but they're, in the 20s or in the high teens, but usually in the 20s in their national rankings. And that's because they're more limited than the legit, I don't want to say they're not legit, but then the top 5 players in the country.
Right.
They have, I mean, even Tremont was like the 26th or 27th player in his class, but that was because he was 5'9".
Yeah, right.
But Will's identified that player as both gettable to LSU and then somebody that can come in and help LSU win. But that they're going to be here for the most 2 years. You sometimes you get lucky and you get a Javonte who sticks around for a 3rd year. But
now, is that because of their rankings?
It's a tough
Is that because of their ranking? Is that because of their ranking going in, and that kid has it in their head that they need to leave early because they just know that they're that talented?
I think it's part of it. I think it's a cultural thing too. I think some guys come in and they're open to the idea of, I need at least 3 years to develop and get ready. Some guys come in and they're like, man, I'm doing my year. Like, I think Trenton Watford probably came in and was like, I'm a one and done guy. And Will said that at the beginning of this year. He said, I failed him because he should have been a one and done guy. I think some guys come in and maybe that's what sells them on the program, is that Will says, hey, you come in, I can make you a one and done guy, like a Nas Reed. That's all. That's a little bit speculative on my part, but it's the type of player you recruit, and it's the type. Look, LSU is not going to necessarily get the guys that Duke, Kentucky, sometimes Kentucky, but not Duke, North Carolina. That top 5 player in the country. They're typically not going to get that kind of guy. They haven't gotten that guy in the past. Let me say it that way. They haven't gotten that guy in the past. Now, may they get there at some point? Sure. But they've identified that, even Cam Thomas was that guy. He was probably the 23rd, 24th ranked player in his class that is I call him like an 8, like a 5-star minus, like an A-. Like,
yep.
He's a 5-star, but he just got that 5th star. And that's worked. Look, they've won the most games in the SEC for the last 3 years. That it's worked for them, but it creates this problem that we're talking about right now, where you're constantly turning over your roster. And the good thing is that Will is not afraid of that work. I saw him the other day on campus, and I asked him, I was like, "What do you think of the roster?" He's like, "We're gonna be fine, man. Like we've got guys." And that was before any announcements had been made on Instagram about potential transfers. So we got guys that are going to fill the needs. We're going to guard better next year. We're going to move the ball more. We're going to be fine. We're going to be right where we need to be. So if he says that, I believe him, because if you go back, and I wrote a story on Will before he started at LSU, or like right when he first started for Tiger Ag, where I followed him around for a day, and everything he said in that article has basically come true. So Will says that, I can take to the bank.
Right. So what are your thoughts on a rim protector?
Yeah, I don't know if Colbert can be that guy. You got to get one, and they're going to get one. That's the first thing he told me. So we're going to get a rim protector, and I think they had a couple names in mind. I don't follow recruiting like I used to, and mostly because I can't talk about it, as I've made it clear.
Sure.
I
mean, you're talking about a
but
freshman
yeah,
or a transfer in?
They may be looking at both. I would defer to like the 24/7 guys on that, like Billy Embody. I'm sure he's
Well,
written about it. But
if Shay would freaking return my text messages, I would have him on, but he won't. I see him out over Pat Merchant, and then he won't return my text messages.
Damn. Well, Shay is now officially more elite than me because he's harder to reach than me. I need to step up my game. I need to get on Shay's level.
You need to start declining us here and there.
Yeah, you're into communications. He's into like anti-communication apparently.
he's behind a paywall. You got to pay to get to Shay. I'm free. I'm not in front of the paywall.
I do actually. Anyway, yeah. So I there's a guy that we've tweeted out about that I want hard because we didn't get him the last time. Any thoughts on Dick Vitale before we move on to football? I know that's kind of yeah.
I grew up a huge Dickie V fan. I was a big Duke fan growing up, and I didn't understand until probably like 6 or 7 years ago that there were people that didn't like Dick Vitale. I just thought he was like universally beloved. I'm aware now. Let me just put it that way. I'm aware of the animosity now. It's been made very clear. So that's all I'll say. But I grew up being a big Dickie V fan.
Don't be a dick.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna move on to spring football. Everybody's favorite time of year. We just can't get enough of football, and baseball is struggling this year to where I'm more, I think, attached to spring football than I normally am because LSU baseball has usually taken over my whole life at this point. But we're obviously struggling. We're going to struggle against SEC pitching. It's just my internal thoughts at this point. But all right, spring football, quarterback battle. My guy's Max Johnson. I'm kind of going in there with just thinking that it's Max's to lose at this point. Miles Brennan's got to come out guns a-blazing to kind of take this over. And I'm actually expecting a big performance out of a guy like Miles Brennan and maybe a little sleeper out of TJ Finley to kind of show off his arm a little bit. What are your thoughts on spring so far? And is there anybody that I'm missing that's kind of like way under the radar right now? We've heard some stories of Devontae Lee and Mason Smith. Obviously, has been the big draw so far. But anybody else I'm kind of missing in that?
Yeah, Jay Ward has had a really big spring, moving to safety. Jay has he got hurt if I'm remembering correctly, pretty early in camp last year.
Yeah.
That was right before Mississippi State, and the Mississippi State was a disaster. Now I'm in a bad mood.
He didn't practice once going into that game, right?
No, now I'm in a bad mood. We're thinking about Mississippi State.
That was your fault.
I did it to myself.
Look, the 2020 season basically didn't happen. Okay, it didn't happen. It wasn't a real.
Yep, exactly.
It wasn't a real season. But Jay, I had heard a lot of really good things about Jay all summer last year about how they thought he would really. Because if you remember, the thought was, they're set at corner with Rick Stingley and Flott at nickel, and I kept being told like, no, look out for Jay Ward. Like he's gonna be the dude at nickel. And he got hurt right before the season and then like played the first half of the season at maybe 75%. And he got exposed at times or whatever. He was hurt. He just flat out wasn't healthy.
Yep.
And then we saw later in the years he got healthy. He started making a lot of plays, and the Florida pick and Ole Miss, he had a couple big plays against Ole Miss. So we saw what he was capable of. I like the move to safety. I love when a corner moves to safety. If he can handle the physicality of it, I think it opens up all kind of doors. And you know how LSU's always kind of use safeties in the nickel too, so it gives you some versatility there.
Yep.
I said this name last year. It did not pan out well last year, but I'm sticking with him. I think Damone Clark is going to have a really good year. I think Damone Clark is a better football player than we saw last year. Absolutely. I think Damone Clark is I have a special affinity for Damone Clark because he I always get made fun of by people when I do this on my podcast, but it's if you don't watch sports like this, then how are you watching sports? I always look at athletes and compare them to myself when I played, and like that's how you watch sports. Make fun of me, I don't care. I see Damone Clark, and like see some of myself, because I was the classic like overthinker, just always overthinking everything, a little bit hesitant, thinking too much, not playing enough. And I was always jealous of the guys who could just turn their brains off and just hit or just play. And I think that was Damone's problem last year. I think he was just overthinking. He was always he wasn't reacting. He wasn't instinctively playing like we saw in 2019 when he was flying all over the field in the role that he was used in. So heard good things about Damone. Think he'll be in a really good position to make some plays this year. And then quarterback, man, I can't pick between the guys. All I can say is that I remember years and years and years of scarcity at the quarterback position for LSU and just praying for a guy to come in that could get the job done. And now there's at least 3 who I've seen get the job done in SEC games that I know can do that. I mean, like, let's say TJ's the number 3 guy right now, because that seems to be the perception. I don't know what the actual depth chart is, but let's say he's number 3. When has LSU had a 3 that had beaten South Carolina and beaten Arkansas on the road as a true freshman? Like he did some things as a true freshman that LSU just hasn't had a true freshman quarterback do, period. Now you throw Max into the mix and what he did the last 2 games and kind of the moxie that he has, the poise he has, the touch he has, the athleticism. That gives you a really good base. But Miles I think he led the country last year in passing yards per game. Like he's got explosiveness in his arm and a lot of confidence and really, man, it's a good spot to be in. Like, I know we want to speculate and say, all right, this is my guy. We're going to split off into camps. Like, oh, I'm on team Miles. I'm on team TJ. I'm on team Nussmeier.
I just want to be right,
Yeah, we all do. Like, that's the fun of being a fan. I'm all in for that conversation. Like, that's fun. I remember being a kid and, like, it was 2005, and it was, like, Flynn and Jamarcus and Marcus Randall.
Right.
I mean, it was all,
you were
it
a
was
Marcus
all of them.
Randall
Like,
guy? You were a Marcus Randall guy in 2005?
No, I was a Jamarcus guy from day one.
I was too.
I love Jamarcus. The first time I saw his like Rivals profile and like his grainy highlights, I was like, that guy's gonna be really good.
And TJ Finley just completely embodies this guy. When I see him, even in I'll watch a Shea Dixon cut of a couple of minutes of practice, and he's just flicking his wrist, and it just looks like Jamarcus Russell. It's so scary to watch, and I'm like, that. Yeah, like you said, that's our 3rd guy. Or
man, it's a different era. And like when I watch Nussmeier, like I see the most polished freshman that I've ever seen in terms of like his mechanics.
We just had a question about Nussmeier in the chat. Nussmeier being kept in the conversation tells me something. So
he's a stud. Like he's got all the coach's kid qualities that you love to see, the leadership, the intangibles. His mechanics are flawless. His release is perfect. He's incredibly he's athletic. This is the best LSU quarterback room that I could remember since that one I was just talking about with Flynn and with Russell and with Paraloo. Like this is this could be that caliber of a room. What I hope is, and it kind of goes back to the basketball conversation, is like, can you keep some guys around? Like this is the age of the transfer. It's the transfer portal. I get it. I transferred when I was in college. You got to find the right spot for you. I will never knock a kid for transferring, but I'd love to see a way where you can encourage depth and competition and keep a couple guys around so that you have a Miles Brennan there that's waited his turn and he's ready to shine. You have a Matt Flynn that steps in and leads you to a national championship in 2007. You've got talent on talent on talent. And if you can do that, that's how you become a sustainable, successful program that, not to bring up the A word here, but Alabama loses Tua and they put in Mac Jones and he does everything that Tua did. Like that's what you want. You want to lose a Burrow and then put in somebody that does everything that he did. And that's the expectation that you should hope for and set. And how realistic is it? I don't know, but that's what you should shoot for if you want to be an elite program. And that's what LSU has a chance to be, because like we can talk about safety and linebacker and all that stuff. The most important position in football is the guy that's touching the ball every play, and it's not the center, it's quarterback. He's if you have a good quarterback, an elite quarterback every year, you're going to be an elite team. It's that simple. So for that room to be loaded, I'd love for that competition to have one guy just emerge to the top and be the dominant guy and dominate next year, and then for somebody to be right there right behind him moving
Right.
forward. And that should be the trend where if you're going to come to LSU and be in that quarterback room, you're going to have to compete for your job every year. That should be the expectation, and that's how you become elite.
Well, and to that a little bit, I want to talk about, and we'll get you out of here in a second because I know you're on vacation. Like coordinators, the differences in coordinators this year compared to last year. What are you seeing that's maybe the difference here? Durante Jones is my guy. I got the Durante Jones Bourbon Club shirt on right now, so that's my guy. And I know the Bo Pelini stuff from last year, but maybe more for offense. What are you seeing that maybe is different from Joe Brady to Ensminger to what we have now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you probably see is when you have young coaches come in, there's a different energy, and that's not to demean experience, because
Sure.
experience is invaluable, but you need the blend of experience and then young hunger. I think when you can combine those things too, I think that's what you had with Steve Ensminger and Joe Brady. You had a guy that wanted to be an NFL head coach in Joe Brady. And so if that meant he had to stay till 2 a.m. breaking down film, he was going to do it. If that meant he had to watch every touchdown in the NFL that week and clip it and install a new red zone package every week for his team, he was going to do that. But then you had the experience of Ensminger, who had been there, done that, seen everything, and could be the steady hand and could, so you need that balance. And last year, I think that balance was off. You just didn't have that combination. Now you've got Pete's and you've got Mangus. So Mangus obviously brings all the Joe Brady knowledge to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Pete's has a little bit of the combination of the young, hungry guy, 37, 38. But he's been around. He's seen some things and experienced some things. But now you've got the experience elsewhere. You've got the experience in your analyst room. You've got the experience maybe at a couple other spots on your staff. And so now you've got that young, hungry energy that when you've got that chip on your shoulder and you want to prove yourself, it just does something different for a team and for a locker room. And it's really tough to balance. But like when, again, not to bring up the A word, but with Saban at Alabama, they have that churn, right? They have the churn of kind of different coordinators coming through, and maybe it's not the young, hungry guy, but they've got a guy there that has something to prove, and then he succeeds, and then they move on. I think there's something to the idea of bringing guys in that really want to prove themselves, that really, I don't want to say they look at this as an opportunity to move to a bigger spot, but it's an opportunity to come in and make a name for yourself. Like that's what LSU is. That's what LSU is for the players that come in.
Yeah,
it's
they saw what Joe Brady did. I mean, they saw what the incline that he's having in his career. I mean, I'm sure that's something they're expecting to do.
Yeah, you don't come to LSU as a player to play at LSU and that be your last step of your career. You come to LSU to win an SEC championship and a national championship and then get drafted and go play in the NFL. And so I think there's a balance there with the coaching staff where you bring in guys that, want to be at LSU and care about LSU and care about this place and want to stick around and be here for, Corey Raymond and Mickey Joseph, guys that want to come here and help LSU win because they love Louisiana and they care about this place. And, then you bring in guys that want to come in and just, hey, this is who I am. I'm that caliber of a football mind. I'm going to call the plays, and LSU is going to be the best offense in the country, and you're going to see what I'm capable. So it's that balance of like ambition and loyalty that's really hard to strike, and you can skew it too far either way, really. But I think this staff may have a really good balance of those two things, where you've got some really ambitious coaches that want to prove themselves, but then you've got a good amount of loyalty where they want to come in and perform and compete for LSU.
All right, last question. I'm gonna get you out of here. And this is a very, very professional question. How fucking cool is Durante Jones?
So I haven't met him yet, which is extremely disappointing. I did the
I've met
podcast
him,
with
Cody. Come on.
what's that?
I said I've met him.
Well, I've been hanging out at the beach all season, so
Okay.
that's my problem.
I drink bourbon, so that's why I've met him.
Well, I mean, I drink bourbon. I'm no bourbon expert, but if you put a glass of bourbon in front of me, I'm gonna drink
We
it.
will do that, Cody. I will text you and we'll do an old fashioned review if you want to do that. Yeah.
Okay. If Durante's there, I'll be there. I haven't met him yet. I'm disappointed. I need to fix that.
Okay.
As you can see from my title here on the screen, that I've had a few more roles on my plate lately, so I haven't been able to be at football as much as I'd want to be. But I'm looking forward to meeting him.
I mean,
I've
what else is
interviewed
going
Pete
on at LSU? I mean, is there anything else going on? I mean,
again, like I said, just been hanging out at the beach with my toes in the sand. That's it.
right.
No, but seriously, in addition to what we were talking about, and I know this about Pete's firsthand and Mangus firsthand, and I've heard this about Durante. Like, in addition to all that stuff we were talking about, it ties into what you're just alluding to there. You're talking about high character coaches. You're talking about guys with, and this is not comparing to any other coaches that have been here. I'm just talking about specifically these guys. You're talking about guys that care about their players, that care about LSU, that care about their players, not just as players, but as people too. And as you can tell from some of the headlines recently with LSU, that we need as many people here that care about educating student athletes, educating themselves, getting things right on and off the field, most importantly off the field. And I've been in the thick of it for the last few months. I think we have those people. I think Durante Jones, to answer your question, is absolutely one of those guys. And so that's what I'm most excited about, is there's an energy in that building of a hunger to do better. And it's not just about 5-5. It's about everything.
Yeah.
There's a hunger in that building for they know what this year's been like for LSU, and they don't accept it, and they want it to be better than they found it. And that's all you can hope for. If you can leave this place better than you found it, you can make a difference in so many lives. And that's the power of LSU, and that's the power of football. Yeah, it's fun to talk about quarterbacks and all that stuff, but when we can get people united behind something this powerful, and then we can do it the right way, you can actually change lives and make a place better. And so, yeah, I'm glad that Durante is cool. I've picked that up from people, but I know for sure that he's he and all the coaches really, and it starts with Coach O, are really committed to doing what's best for this community and this LSU community, which extends beyond the walls of that building and
Right.
really across the world, but certainly across the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, and when I met the guy, it was just like, I mean, what kid wouldn't want to run through a wall for this guy? And it spoke a little bit to the Dave Aranda role, where it was like very soft spoken, but you just completely have all this respect, and there's just a command of attention whenever he's around. So I love that kind of attitude. And, we were talking to Derry Beckwith before about, maybe a difference between Aranda and Pelini, and that was a small difference. And it was just a combination of a million things that could have gone wrong last year that did. So, it's one, I know you're in communications at LSU, but it's almost like all this needed to happen to get everything back into check. And it's like 2019 to 2020, and now 2021 can propel itself into a different level. And I think that's what's great about LSU and athletics in general, and like just sports, that we can kind of see like a growth between, you had the best year ever, but was it really? Like, we got knocked down a peg, and now we can really propel ourselves back up. And everybody's talking about the worst year coming off of a national championship, but now it'll be the best year coming off of a bad year. A turnaround year. Anyway, I just think that's a lot of things to kind of think about for 2021 that I know you guys are probably already thinking about and in the back end here. But we appreciate your time, buddy. We know you're on vacation. I hear kids in the background.
No, I just got back from vacation, so we're at my parents' house right now. We have to
Oh,
take the dog
okay.
because the dog The dog is not welcome at the beach. So I stuck my parents with the kids and said, "You watch these hellions. I'm gonna go hang out with the guys from 1T1 podcast and talk a little sports, and then I'll go deal with whatever messes they made."
Good. That's good.
I actually did have one more question.
Go ahead.
Do you have any more
Fire away.
Jack Marucci stories? Because last time you were on, you told us something about Jack Marucci doing something. I don't remember what it was, but it blew my mind.
And
Jack
we were asked about you getting your shot blocked against Tasman Mitchell your freshman year.
I'll tell. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a Jack Marucci story off the top of my head. The last one I told was probably how he monitored their eyes.
Oh, their eyes.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's what
that
it
was
eye
it.
tracking.
That was it.
Another relevant one. I think Brody Miller wrote about this at The Athletic, but Jack formulated this character matrix, and this is relevant to all the stuff we're working on now. But basically, I don't know. It's kind of with everything. Jack is so thorough. It was all these different things, grades, being tardy with attendance to tutoring. He had these like 10 factors that he would track. And before the 2019 season, he said this group is the highest character group we've ever had on that character matrix. And this was before like I had seen anything on the field. He's like, this group is going to be special. And so he's as attention to detail as they come. And I haven't been over there in a while. Every time I go over there, I learn something amazing.
He's
the Tasman Mitchell story.
Genius.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a million stories with Jack Marucci. The Tasman Mitchell story is my freshman year of high school. I was starting varsity for the Parkview Baptist Eagles. You mentioned Derry Beckwith, fellow Parkview alum.
Yeah.
Derry was on our team.
Okay.
And
post guy.
I was and the first game we played in the Jamboree, we had Denham Springs. Okay. And I knew all about Tasman. Tasman was 2 years ahead of me. He was a McDonald's All-American, top 25 player, 5-star, whatever. And I said, this is my chance. This is my high school debut. I'm going to show the world that I'm the next 5-star. I'm the next McDonald's All-American. Coach K is going to call me after this game and personally offer me a scholarship. And so we lost the tip, obviously. They came down and scored, and actually they came down and missed. Somehow we got the rebound, and I was playing off the ball my freshman year, and I ran the fast break to the wing, caught it, and first touch, and I said, this thing's going up. And I looked up, Tasman was under the goal. I said, I got the green light. Went up to shoot it, and before I even got it out of my shot pocket, I hear Tasman yell, I got that. And I'm like, he doesn't got that. I'm about to shoot this ball, and he's under the goal. And I released the ball, and sure enough, Tasman threw it from Denham. Where were we playing? We weren't playing at Denham Springs. He threw it 30 rows up into the stands, and there were probably only 20 rows of stands.
Like we were told
he threw it
rows.
It was the most violent block of a three-pointer that you could possibly imagine. And literally in that moment, okay, I'm not that good. I have so much work to do. It was the most humbling. It was the most humbling moment of my entire career. It was the moment that I realized, my baseball coach that told me maybe I should focus on baseball since I'm a 5'9" white kid. Maybe that baseball coach was right. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to prove him wrong. Maybe
I should look into writing.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe we should look at the communications.
And that's how I became a sports writer. So there you go.
Yeah, I have a similar story where I was doing the bench press at LSU Rec Center, and I was going to walk on for LSU. This is in like '97, and Robert Tyler, the fullback at the time, walks in and he starts like putting up the same weight, but he's like doing it 30 times, and I'm doing it 5. And I was thinking, this is the guy that I would have to go up against in practice. I'm done. I'm about to go to journalism.
Yep, they're a different breed. You have no idea how
there's
athletic
full of journalism stories about this, I believe, in the journalism building, in the management building.
That's how we all became writers and content creators instead of actual athletes. We realized, these guys are way better than me. Let me go talk about it rather than do it.
Exactly. All right. We appreciate it, Cody. We'll get you out of here. We appreciate it. We'll come back on again. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Cody.
All right. All right, guys, we're going to go to break real quick. We're going to come right back with Garrett from fifth quarter LSU. And let me hold on one second. I'm going to break right now.
Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
Sister.
Jack was just telling us a very funny story in the break. Hey, Garrett, this is Garrett from fifth quarter LSU. What's happening, brother?
Nothing much.
All right, so here you are. We're bringing you into One Team, One Podcast. You're a big fan, right?
Oh yeah. Let's see. First listened to about 62 episodes ago.
Okay, so this is 68. So you're
yeah.
you need to catch
I'm
up
gonna go catch up.
No, he didn't watch the first 5.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have watched his first 5.
No, they were terrible. No one could do it. Yeah. All right, so you're
he
following.
Was loyal if he was listening. To episode
I mean,
6,
bro, we do have a couple that have started from the very beginning.
Yeah,
and they still around. Jason, I forget his last name. He follows us on Twitter. There's a few of them that were from episode 1 to all the way. It's episode 1. Just to give you a little backstory, Garrett, I had to do it. It was literally COVID, and we were in I was in a living room, and we had to do 2 mics. We had to plug them up to 2 different computers. I had no idea what I was doing, and I had to take each track and mesh them together and figure out a way to cut the echo out. And so episode 1 has got this echo to it, and it's like unbelievable echo that I had to cut out. And it's actually very you should have heard it before I edited it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, we appreciate you coming on, buddy. All right, so LSU, fifth quarter LSU. Tell us how you got started in that, because I'm very interested in that. And then, same with the LSU Barstool situation. How do guys get into this? Do they hire out for this, right? And you apply for it? Is that how that works?
Well, it was actually really complicated. So the way that I got into it, so fifth quarter was here a long time before I was here. Well, not here, but we there's a guy that I know runs the fifth quarter page for Oregon, actually, Mike. Me and him just always knew each other for a long time. What's up?
Where are they based out of?
Honestly, I don't even know who actually owns it. I just run the page. I just do my own stuff. I don't pay attention to any other teams. So Mike, I already knew him. He's from Florida. He does realtor work and everything in Florida. But I got through him, and he knew I was a diehard LSU fan. Someone could be better than LSU, not so say LSU is better. This is how I am. But he got me in contact with the guys that run the fifth quarter and everything, and I just started doing it. It's fun. I like social media.
Well, I feel like you have a really good pulse of LSU social media by doing this, right? I feel like you're all over it. As I have a day job, and I'm trying to catch up with my social media, and I'm trying to make sure that I always have the good pulse of what people are wanting to talk about. But I feel like you're probably on it 10 times more than I am. So with that said, what do you think that LSU fans are kind of geared up for right now more than anything?
Quarterback competition, and it's still been the same thing for about the past few weeks.
We
You
know
know,
LSU football rules the world. So, like, I get that, and it's like, I hate talking about spring football, but it
yeah,
is what it is. In Baton Rouge, football rules everything, right?
yeah. I mean, it's honestly that you have that. You still have you're playing all basketball and baseball. Don't want to talk about baseball right now.
No, right.
Um,
Well, we did. We just talked about basketball, and then we skipped over baseball and we went straight to football.
yeah, I think it's
Not good.
better.
You were at the game the other night, right? Like, how many games are you going to? Are you going to a lot of these?
I'm trying to, I'm trying to go to more in games now. I'm trying to go to as many as I can right now before the end of the year. I'll be going to the Army in August, so I'll be
Okay.
leaving for boot camp between August and September. Nothing official yet.
Well, what's going to
But,
happen? What's going to happen with the site whenever that happens?
I'm not sure. I'm still talking to everybody about that. We're going to figure out if someone else is going to run it for the time being.
Okay.
Most likely. Then after that, I'll be back. I'm only doing 3 years and then I'm out. Coming right back, going to LSU actually. So
Okay. So somebody just asked, ask him how bad he is at NCAA 14.
pretty bad.
Well, we have some stories
that
about
hard game.
NCAA football,
Oh,
me
yeah.
and you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
Well-
the uncle. I'm 42 and Jack is 22.
Right.
And when Jack was a little kid,
When I was like 8.
when you were 8, I would school you on NCAA football, and I would just pick. I would be Navy, and I would run the triple option, and I would tell him he could be whoever he wanted. It didn't really matter.
Didn't matter at all.
He would be like Florida State, and I would beat him like 50-0 with Navy. So we have a lot of backstory on NCAA football.
I did the
So-
same thing with one of my cousins a couple years ago. By the way,
Did you?
Felt great.
Yes, I know. It feels
I
exhilarating.
was
when
Georgia
you can,
Tech. I told him you can be Alabama.
Yeah, and you just put your
And I
thumb on
beat him
that
by
kid.
50,
Like,
yeah.
you learn, kid. You need to learn your lessons in life. So tell me how bad you are at NCAA football.
Well, when the new mod came out for the NCAA football, because they have this one group that's making like a college football revamped, and it was before all the news of NCAA coming back with their new games. And well, when that happened, I decided, hey, let's go make a new dynasty.
For sure.
And here comes Texas at week number 3. Brand new rosters, brand new looks. They actually have the new silent, what's it called? The silent fall uniforms, purple helmets, white all whites.
Yes.
Oh, really? You have that on the NCAA?
They got that on there now. It's
They
actually
have like
really
an
cool.
update for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they got all these updates and went into it, lost like 74 to like 10. We're not going to talk about it.
Holy shit! To the computer?
Yeah.
No. Wait, you lost to the computer 74-10.
It was on Heisman.
Dude,
I was pretty
They
bad.
ran it up on you.
Shout out to you for coming on here,
And you didn't even
you
like
just bravely told
wait,
that story.
whoa. What?
I didn't
score
play
at
a single game after that.
What was the score at halftime? Do you know?
Like 40-10, maybe.
You didn't stop it? You didn't press
Yeah.
reset?
Oh yeah,
They caught everything. They
Come
just
on,
caught
that's
everything.
You got to
Dude,
press reset,
that
right?
Heisman
They
mode.
caught
is
everything.
some bullshit though.
It is.
Sometimes on Heisman, it just doesn't let you do. I mean, it sounds like you're just not very good at the game, but like, like sometimes on Heisman, it like just won't let you do things. Like, it's not gonna let you win in this situation.
Jack just
I-
roasted you.
He said it himself.
Yeah. Oh
he
my
said,
god.
He said it himself.
Wait, so I'm trying to understand the thought process though of like getting completely destroyed against the computer.
I mean, you gotta understand, like on the game, I had Terrence Marshall, John Trey, like no receiver on my team was running faster than a linebacker on their team. It was bad.
It's
Sure.
craziness.
Like stats are slowed down. Like you had Racing McMath, who was, he couldn't even get past, a linebacker in coverage.
You streamed
He
it?
couldn't. Yeah.
Holy cow! That's why you
Wait,
didn't turn it off.
whoa. Can we get this stream?
Dude, I would have rage quit.
Yeah.
It might be on my Twitch.
We can get this to Barstool.
Okay,
I
we're gonna
guarantee you we
find
can
this
get
on
this to
Twitch.
Barstool.
I'm gonna
Garrett.
go watch it, man. That's hilarious.
I know. We got to watch this.
That-
I
okay,
feel bad for
I
you,
was
but
wondering
we
why
have
you
to.
wouldn't have quit the game. I so would have quit but
I know, I
you're
would've
on-
quit,
You're on
but-
a stream. You can't quit.
Why can't you? Why can't you?
Because you're on a stream. Like
I'm on a stream, but I can't let people down like
you
that.
got to finish the game.
No, fuck
You gotta
that.
finish.
Be like, hey, fuck you guys. I'm
Could you
quitting.
imagine? Could you imagine if Doug's would have quit in the middle of a game? It would have been mayhem.
Yeah, but was he playing on Heisman?
Yeah,
I was until after 10 points because I scored really easily at first, and then people were like, "What setting is it on?" Because apparently every game you have to go back and change it. Apparently on the remastered, you have to change it every game.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, and I was like, "This is way too easy." I went to the settings, changed with the Heisman. They scored 30 within like.
What
a
about
few
your
minutes.
sliders? Did you have your sliders on?
No, I had them in normal.
But all
I don't
100
even know. I don't even know what that
everything.
means.
Slider check.
Yeah, slider check.
Slider check.
That's awesome. All right, so what are you looking for in the spring game other than the quarterbacks? Is there anybody that you're looking at and you want to kind of see how they do, like a Mason Smith or something like that?
Honestly, I really want to see the O-line. I need to see the O-line.
Okay.
I think that's where it's at right now.
I agree.
Last year, I mean, it's funny how to think about it, we said O-line was so bad last year, and, we're returning the whole O-line this year.
Sure.
And it's like, people are saying that how can they upgrade when it's the same O-line? You gotta think about last season, we didn't have an off-season. It was,
Right.
it's not the same off-season, Last year, the receivers weren't the same from the year before, 2 years ago, you had the 1,000 catches of summer, whatever it was called.
Yep, 10,000.
10,000, however much it was. I'm not catching that many.
11,000 this
But
year.
Yes, exactly. They went to 11 this year.
Really?
The detail is there, right? Like it was like the 10,000 catches was there in 2019. 2020, they had no talk of it, and then now 2021, all of a sudden, it's back to this detail again. You can't help but get excited about it.
That I want to see Ward at safety.
Yeah,
I really want to see Ward.
Just talked to Cody. I don't know if you heard that, but he was gushing about Jay Ward at safety. So,
we actually haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. But do you remember the play against Arkansas? So Jay Ward had 2 plays in a row where he on 3rd down he got the big tackle to hold on 3rd and force the 4th down, and then he blocks the kick on the
right
potential overtime sending field goal. But on that tackle, that whole play, I was like, man, he could be like a nickel safety type of guy. Like, and it's very similar to how I felt about how Kerry Vincent should have been moved to safety.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like he belonged at corner. He just wasn't great man to man. I feel very similar about Jay Ward, actually.
Yeah.
Except it's not speed as much as it's about, I think he has that physical instinct.
Yeah, no, I think that was the game that he just kind of blossomed in, and now, it's like he needed this time to recover, and it just happened in Arkansas. It feels like, but yeah, I think those are guys for sure that are going to enhance this defense much more.
He had a few forced fumbles throughout the year. He had 2 or 3 that I can remember. So yeah, I think moving him to safety is going to be pretty huge.
All right, so I know you're an Office guy, right?
Oh yeah,
you love The Office, Garrett?
No, I'm in my room actually.
No, you love The Office, the show.
Oh, I think so. Are you in Office? Like, was I in the office? No,
That's what he
my
said.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do this while you're here. It is the Office episode of the week. Hopefully, we don't get kicked off of YouTube for this.
The Office episode.
I didn't know we were doing this. What are we doing? What episode?
It is the episode. I don't even need to tell you
all the episodes.
I don't even
the
need to
basketball
tell
episode?
It's the basketball episode. It's the one with where they play the warehouse guys. Tim, if Tim Latour is still on the chat, he'll love this one as well. But we
should do a draft.
An Office draft?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a March Madness.
No. Like we should do a draft. Like we should draft the players from the Office.
Oh, okay, from the Office. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I got first pick. I got Jim.
So all right. So the Office episode of the week is the warehouse episode where they play the warehouse in basketball, and So what? Tell me what your immediate thoughts are and what your immediate memories are, Jack, of
I
that
mean,
episode.
I can quote that whole episode if
I
I
know
watch
you
it right
can.
now. Secret
I
weapon!
huh?
Secret weapon!
Secret. So a couple of things that I saw on that episode. Jim was a really good basketball player.
Oh, he's got the post moves, man.
Yeah, but he had like a little up and under kind of move.
He's got moxie.
He does
Big
have
moxie guy.
Big moxie guy.
When he gives that little look
Jim
to,
Halpert.
he makes that move on Roy, and then he goes and he looks over.
And he
at
looks
his
over at
fiance.
Pam?
He goes and looks at his fiance.
At Roy's fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big dick move right there.
Garrett, what do you remember about that episode?
Well, it's funny to think about, like, you just think of the whole episode and you get to see the beef between Jim and Roy the whole time. You know,
Yes,
you get to see the beef. You can see the swagger that Jim has going into the game. You know, Jim is in the office putting on. He actually had a pair of Allen Iversons on.
Okay,
that
so
game.
I'm so glad you said that because my wife Summer, we were watching it the other day, and she said, "Are those Jordans? Like, are those Jordans that you have? Because I have the Jordan 11s," and he was like tying them up, and I was like, let me look at it. I was like, no, those aren't Jordans. So those are Iversons?
No, Ray Allen.
Yeah.
No,
they were Iversons. Yeah,
Oh.
they were Iversons. They were Iversons, and then also one other thing that I couldn't stop thinking about: 3 people on the warehouse roster were over 6'3".
Damn, and they still took the L.
Yeah, they still
Sheesh.
got it taken
That's
to them.
That's how good Jim is, bro.
Well, and Dwight
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Dwight, I was open.
Dwight was stealing the ball and just throwing it up.
Ryan Howard
chunking
also
it
a
up.
stud, man.
Ryan Howard had
Yeah.
one out of nowhere.
Same
there.
team, Dwight.
Same team, Dwight. That needs to be a band name.
Same team, Dwight.
Yeah, same team, Dwight. All right. So, what else about that episode? I'm trying to remember the smack talk between Michael Scott and like Roy and Derek. Yes, that was it. Come on, give me more. Well,
Oh, you're trying to steal our plays, huh?
yeah,
Something like that. A little bit of that. You gotta.
And then you also had Dwight wearing the whole face mask that Kawhi wears right
face
now.
mask. Dwight had the face mask, and then he takes his shirt off, and he's like, "Shirt, skins, we're skins."
We'll be skins.
They're like, "Put your shirt on, Dwight."
They on or off? Angela's keeping the score the whole time. That's
Well,
good stuff.
yeah, and then
Flagrant, intentional, personal.
flagrant, personal. So, all right. So at the end of it, Michael is like, "Who's winning?" And it's obviously you guys are up by 1, and then he gets poked in the eye,
Mhm.
and then it is he's
saying-
like, "Oh,
well-
we're done. I think we just need to call it. I mean, this is just ridiculous."
And they go, well, then who won?
Who won? It was like, well, whoever was in the lead,
whoever's up.
whoever was up, and they were like, "Well, you were up," and they were like, "Well,
Huh?
I guess." And then Roy is
he
like,
goes, "In
"Oh,
your
no, no,
face."
no." So apparently, Roy and Pam were supposed to go to the
To the mall. Or no. To jet skis.
Jesse's
Jet skis.
jet skis. Okay,
They're going to go on the lake. or
that's right.
something
They were going to
with
go to the lake.
Roy's cousin or brother. or
They're
whatever.
always going to the lake
Sure.
and getting jet skis,
Right.
and then finally the jet skis. He has to take a hit on
Then
the
Jim,
jet skis.
Jim goes. That's
later
so
on.
funny.
But then so then he's like,
ski
"Oh,
money?
no, I'm not coming in."
Mhm.
And they bow up to
Right.
Michael.
He's like, what does he say? He goes, that wouldn't have been good for morale. Yeah, I couldn't have done that. No.
Yeah.
We'll work on Saturday. And then they go
Yeah.
upstairs and he goes, you know what, the hell with it. I think we're not gonna work on Saturday, and everyone's happy about it. And then he goes, like, working on Saturday is gonna keep us from being downsized. And then everyone's sad again.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna do the office episode of the week every week. Garrett, we appreciate you joining us. All right, so what do you want to leave us with? Anything else with LSU that you're thinking about this maybe this weekend or coming up here soon that we want to talk about for just the LSU community at all?
Not really. I mean, I was gonna be at the game, but I have work.
Baseball or spring? Well, baseball
Oh,
is
for
right? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was gonna go to the spring game, and it's free for so
Yeah.
family wants to go, y'all should just go. But
I know they're
not
having a
really.
big push for spring right now for the spring game, but I mean, it's never been a big attendance anyway. So
No.
I don't know. I don't know
Right.
if that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
so I haven't gone to the spring game in like 8 years because I want to go every year, but every
Yeah.
single year I've had something come up on the day of the spring game every single year, and I was like, oh, this is finally going to be the year. Now I have a wedding to go to. So
was there something
No,
else that was supposed to happen on the
When?
spring game for us?
For us, like you and
Yeah,
me?
I don't remember. Maybe not.
We have a golf tournament that we're supposed to be playing in next Monday. I knew we were going to forget about that.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So Garrett, do you play golf at all?
Top Golf, if that counts.
Top golf?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Kind of.
No.
All right. So I got a question. I can't go because my sister decided it's a great day to get married.
Same, man, except my aunt.
exactly.
My aunt decided the same thing. Yep.
So, the spring game is kind of hitting everybody at one time, and that's typical for Louisiana.
Yeah.
So, Garrett, I know you have a good pulse of Louisiana and a good pulse of LSU, so we want to keep you engaged here, and we'll bring you back on for sure. Okay, buddy?
Oh yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
You got it.
All right.
See you, man.
Bye-bye. All right. So, couple of things that coming out of the Cody Worsham stuff. We wanted to talk about the transfer portal a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was some stuff that
there was one specific question I wanted to get to. So Andrew asked this while Cody was on.
Yeah, and he couldn't get to this one, obviously.
Got it on the screen right here. Great pickup in Pinson from Missouri through the portal. Any other potential transfers that the team could land? And I didn't want to ask that because Cody kept alluding to the fact
he couldn't even talk about Pinson,
right?
Because Pinson wasn't
about a done deal. So Pinson is huge because now we have a guy who can go get a bucket, and I don't know who that guy was going to be before he came in.
Okay,
unless Seneca. I mean, Seneca, like
Seneca or Seneca?
Seneca. I heard y'all saying Seneca, and then he said Seneca. I guess I got.
I know a guy that I went to high school with named Seneca.
Okay, maybe it's Seneca then.
Yeah.
I've just
Seneca.
That's what it looked like to me. All right, so Seneca. I mean, yeah, he averaged 17 points a game in the Mountain West, but
but he's not a point guard.
But yeah, he's a 2/3 kind of guy,
right?
And he's 6'7". Yeah, he's very good, I'm sure, but I don't know how scoring 17 points in the Mountain West transfers to the SEC.
Right.
So I wasn't going to consider him a big bucket getter just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Pinson averaged, 13 points a game, 13, 14 points a game in the SEC.
In the SEC.
So, I mean, like that's, he's going to play all the same teams
as
again.
a junior. So he'll be a senior next year.
And he's improved gradually every single year. If you look at his stats.
Right.
So I think that's huge. I think that's a guy that can definitely go get us some points. Yeah. I mean, he dropped 36 points at a game one game this year.
Yeah.
You dropped 30 in another. He's definitely a guy who can really go off. And I saw something said like he was shooting like 40% from three for the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's starting to get his 3-point shooting up.
Well, so all right, you have a guy like him. He's a point guard, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he's a point guard. He's more of a, what do they call it? A combo guard.
Yeah. Okay. So we had a rumbling of another transfer from Illinois, Adam Miller.
Right. I think that would be massive because that's another guy
and he's young though.
Yeah, he's a freshman, right?
So he would be a sophomore next year, and I think all these guys are going to get eligibility, especially if they're coming from an out of conference into an in conference. They're going to get immediate eligibility to where they're a sophomore next year immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have any problem with that. I think the only problem you would see is if it was a SEC player from another team going to another team and they have to like apply for the eligibility, which Xavier Pinson will have to do but it's still all indications is they're going to grant that.
Right.
So, all right. So potentially another guy coming in. I know Brandon Lejean had posted in our Facebook group about Mac McClung from Texas Tech.
I don't know if that's even an option.
I don't know.
I mean, it's an option for sure, but I don't know if it's
he actually posted that
possibility.
he is going to either transfer portal or NBA draft.
Right. And so
I don't know, he's not going to get drafted.
Texas Tech just lost Chris Beard, so I'm sure they're about to have a bunch of transfers.
That's true.
Maybe we need to go.
We just need to poach them.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next thing is, and that was the other thing we were talking about, was the amount of guards that we have in our roster. Especially if you grab Pinson and you grab Miller. You got a lot of guards on the roster now. You need to start filling up with big guys.
Right.
And you're losing a Hyatt, which isn't a big guy really, but
I mean, he plays on the outside. So it's not like you're losing inside depth, really.
But you still need that rim protector.
Definitely. We talked about Sharif staying healthy. You can't really count on Sharif.
He's not a rim protector anyway.
Sure, but he's 6'10".
He's 6'10".
He's 6'10" and he's athletic and he plays inside. He's not going to play. You can't play him outside.
I don't know, but he just doesn't.
He
doesn't have the body to play inside.
It's not even about rim protection for me as much as it's about like just a guy that can come in and just like eat rebounds.
Sure.
Like, I think that's the big thing, and I think Colbert can do that too.
Sure.
I mean,
Colbert, I think, has got a better body than Sharif at this point. His body's probably
right. I mean, I'm sure he's healthier than Sharif. I mean, I don't know how you can be less healthy.
Well, I mean,
Sharif.
just as far as thickness it goes, as far as a body,
they're about the same build, I would say. He's pretty skinny kid too.
But I mean, Sharif's going into his third year compared to Colbert going
from
to
where
his
they're
freshman
starting.
year.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
So that being said, the guy who I posted about today was Musa Cisse.
Sure.
I'm trying to get some info from Jay Boy. I want to have Jay Boy on next week if we can.
Okay.
We'll talk about the transfer portal more than anything because he's got his hands on a lot of different contacts with that. I want to talk to Jay Boy about that. I want to talk to him about he had mentioned Musa Cisse was thinking about getting into the portal, but he hadn't yet. And it's very weird to me that Musa Cisse hasn't either entered his name into the NBA draft or been in the portal yet. Is he just thinking of sticking around at Memphis?
He can't go to the draft.
I know, but is he just thinking of sticking around at Memphis?
Oh, he's in the portal though, right?
No. He's not necessarily. He's not in the portal yet.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
So I want to talk to him a little bit more about that, maybe next week, and we can kind of touch base about that. But
I don't know why he would leave Memphis. Other than
why would you stay at Memphis?
Well, I mean, like, why would he? He didn't even play that well.
Why would you even go to Memphis to begin with? I think it's the bigger question. Money? Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's go to commercial break real quick.
Sure.
And when we come back, I want to talk about this Dale Brown. This kind of got in my crawl today. The Dale Brown with Jacques Doucet stuff.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit, and then we what we can do is we can talk about Tiger droppings post of the week after that.
Okay.
We'll get to something like that, and I'm gonna go take a pee break. Okay.
A little wee.
So when I come back, if it comes back, you're on your own here. Okay.
Down.
All right.
I'm down.
Talk to you soon.
Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
We are back.
We're back. Oh, that was so fast. Oh my God.
We need to get more commercials.
Okay, so yeah, we need more commercials for sure. All right, I want to talk about.
If y'all want to sponsor us,
actually, we have more sponsors that we just need to make commercials for.
Right.
So, and a couple of them are Relief Pools and Bank of England Mortgage. So we need commercials out of those guys so we can kind of fill it up a little bit.
Right.
All right, so Jacques Doucet posted something today about Dale Brown, and it was based off his podcast with Dale Brown a couple of days ago. And Dale
just went into a little tangent, didn't
and
he?
I actually texted with Jock a little bit after this, so I'll go into detail about that. Dale Brown said that that LSU fans like to say that when somebody's when they get in trouble, that everybody does it.
Right.
Everybody's cheating. So we're talking obviously, and he never says Will Wade's name,
sure,
because he's got some kind of like fucking hatred about Will Wade. He just needs to get over it. But he says that every time a team gets in trouble, like LSU fans will say that everybody does it. And he says that's not true.
Right. And then he lists a few people.
And he
that
lists
do it.
people like Mark Few. And this is coming off the heels, I think, of the championship game, or it was right before the championship game when he had this podcast.
So the question was actually about like the championship teams, and I think it was something like that.
So Jacques texted me.
Jacques didn't even ask
Jacques
him about
texted me directly,
cheating.
and he said this was completely unprovoked.
Yeah.
And he just went on his own.
Right.
This wasn't asked by Jacques or anything like that. But Dale goes on to talk about how Mark Few from Gonzaga, Scott Drew from Baylor,
who's
and
had
then
recruiting violations.
what's his name from Virginia?
Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett from Virginia. He names those three. And yeah, Scott Drew, I didn't even mention that on Twitter, but Scott Drew has had violations.
He got suspended by the Big 12 like not that long ago.
Brian Holland even mentioned that right after. Mark Few. Okay, let's talk about that. So my tweet today was, so you think Jalen Suggs went to Gonzaga over the other schools that I don't even know who else was recruiting him. I'm sure it was big time schools. He was the number one huge player coming out of high school. You think he passed up money to go to Gonzaga for free?
Right. No.
It's stupid.
Well, hold on. He didn't just pass up money from like Duke and Kansas and teams like that. He also passed up money from Kirby Smart and from
for football
from Ryan Day. He could have been a fucking starting quarterback in Power 5. No, it's fucking nonsense.
No, but we'll pass up the money to go play for a respected
guy who does
coach.
it the right way, as he put it.
At the right
Jackass.
way. Come on.
And I don't
Dale
understand
Brown.
why not paying players is the right way. I mean, I get it's like against the rules and stuff, but like, come on. These players deserve to be paid anyway.
And we're
so, like,
LSU
fuck it.
fans. I'm 42, okay? I lived in the Dale Brown era, and I can tell you, I love Dale Brown. I've always loved Dale Brown. Stop giving me a reason to not like you, Dale Brown.
Well, he's just too old.
What? But this doesn't make any sense to me.
Because he cheated.
He cheated. He was giving money to players.
Is he just guilty?
Lester Earl, Shaquille O'Neal, I know for a fact.
Because Shaq said it.
I mean, I know it. I know what Shaq drove in college.
Right.
All right. Let's go back to 86 or 85. Or maybe 84. John Williams, the best player on our 1986 Final Four team. He came from Compton, California.
Mm.
How do you think we got him out of Compton, California to come to LSU?
By doing it the right way.
Yes, the right way. He just wanted to come play with Dale Brown because Dale Brown was such a master motivator, freak defense, all that kind of stuff. Give me a break. This is so stupid to me. Let's start admitting what we're doing here, which is everybody's playing by the same set of fucking rules. Like Scott Drew's doing it. Mark Few's doing it. Give me a break.
Right.
You think Gonzaga is getting all these recruits? Gonzaga.
Yeah, all these guys are moving up to Washington because,
Spokane.
Right. They got 3 guys that are lottery picks this year.
This
Drew
is
Timme,
this is unbelievable.
and Suggs.
Come.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's nuts.
And
you
he
don't get
of course
these guys without paying them.
Of course, Dale Brown also in the same interview says that he doesn't talk to Dickie V, and that's all asinine.
Yeah.
I don't believe a word of what Dale Brown is saying right now. I saw Collis Temple Sr. on Jordy Collada's show a couple of weeks back. I respect the hell out of this guy, but he doesn't say a word about Will Wade. There's some kind of animosity, that's just unspoken animosity between these guys and Will Wade, and it's just like, cut this shit, man.
Right.
Like, let's just
Collis
talk
Temple's
about.
not my favorite, but Collis Temple's not my favorite.
Collis
but,
Temple Sr.?
Yeah, he's not my favorite. But,
Okay.
And
I mean, he's a legend at LSU.
Sure,
and
no doubt.
These guys
No
should
doubt.
be spoken of at a legendary status. Dale
Sure.
Brown should be spoken of at a legendary
Just don't
status.
care for their opinions on things.
Well, I don't understand where their disconnect with Will Wade is and with this program. There's obviously we want to we're combating this program at this point. Look what did you just do? You just look at you're just gonna go like that,
gonna go old
rogue
school.
for the rest of the way.
Yep.
Okay,
we don't have that much time.
Jack just hulked the microphone all the way. Look at you, you big strong man. I don't think it's all the way in. That's what she said.
It's good enough.
Okay,
It's good enough for me. It's just the tip.
Just the tip. So anyway, I that interview struck my chord this morning, and I'm like, I was livid after that.
Oh yeah, no, that was a bunch of nonsense. Although, is anyone surprised to hear him say that?
No.
I mean, this is what we all thought that he thought. So,
and Jacques texted me, and he said, the fact that he doesn't bring up Will Wade's name ever is just, it speaks volumes into what's going on here.
Right.
And I don't know if it's, I'm speculating, but like, did they come to Will Wade asking for like some sort of access and they got denied? Like, what happened here?
Right.
Something happened. Some kind of communication happened.
I think it
here.
really just shows that all the rumors that have been going on the past few years and everything with Jordy Collada, everything you've heard, it's true. It's all true. Remember when Jordy was
Jordy was the Dale Brown guy. Yeah.
He had to apologize for something because he said something
Dale
about,
Brown messaged him right after.
Right. He sent the big long fuck
we need
you
to get
text
Jordy
or
back.
whatever.
We'll get Jordy on here too, and we need to say, hey, look, read all of your text messages to Dale Brown. That'll be your entire segment here. Just read your text messages. Actually, read your text messages from Dale Brown all the way down, and then read your text messages from Dickie V all the way down, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
That would be a very fun segment.
All right, so that was one of the things that hit me today. That I was just like, I gotta fucking talk about this. This is ridiculous.
Right.
I love this guy. I love Dale Brown, and I can't believe he's still on this bullshit. And
man, 5 years ago, or maybe a little longer, let's say 7 years ago, if I told you that you are going to hate Dale Brown and you're going to hate Les Miles.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to hate Paul Maneri.
That's a good tweet right there.
All three of them.
It's a good tweet.
Fuck all those guys.
Man.
What would you have thought?
Man, I wouldn't have thought that at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dale Brown. I have a Dale Brown book that's autographed by
So
Dale
do I.
Brown.
So do I. Actually, same. I do too.
I
With the
just,
forward by Shaq and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I that guy was a legend to me. I have a Chris Jackson.
You might have got me one or something.
I have a Chris Jackson poster right here. Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I'm a huge 80s, 90s basketball fan. John Brady. Every time John Brady comes on, I can sit there and talk to John Brady for an hour just about old basketball. It's a shame that it's gotten to this point where I feel like he's trying to poke at the program. I can't tell you any other way. I just think that he's trying to stab Will Wade in the back.
Yeah.
And I love Will Wade. I'm telling you right now, I love Will Wade.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
it's
crazy.
You're not going to find two bigger Will Wade guys than this room right here.
I don't get it. Dale Brown was me against the world. It really was. It was, we're an 8 seed going up against the Goliath, and we're taking on the world, and we beat them, and we play the freak defense. We do everything different. And here's Will Wade. He's going up against the Goliath with Kentucky, and he's beating them, and he's doing everything he can to be. It's the same fucking guy.
Right.
Like, why can't you get on board? It doesn't make any sense to me. Stop with all this like outside periphery. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm done.
Talking about Will Wade though. Now that we're kind of done with the season, where do we stand with Will Wade right now? Like as a coach?
I think he's. So I think what was missing last year that he needs to get back this year. There's a couple things. He needs a bench coach.
Yeah, got to get a Greg Heier guy back.
You're really missing Greg Heier.
Right.
And that was completely obvious.
To that point, though, what does that say about Will Wade that he can't function very well without a really good assistant coach? Because what other really good college basketball coach needs a really good assistant coach?
I don't know the ins and outs of all the other teams to know that.
Right, but like, have you ever heard of another team like losing an assistant and then they
I haven't
fall
because
off?
I just don't know. But
I mean,
like,
I guess that is like a very like
it's
you
a very
you wouldn't know that unless you did follow the team.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Exactly.
That's a fair point.
Like I don't know how Bruce Pearl is with inbounds plays.
Sure, that's fair. That's a fair point. You wouldn't unless you followed Auburn.
And I knew like LSU's problem. Like you get up against Michigan and it's a big inbounds play, and it's like, oh shit.
Right.
This isn't what we're good at.
The only guy I can think of in America that would know that is John Rothstein, because he seems to just know everything.
We want to get John Rothstein on, obviously. That's a guy we want on. I think we're in good shape still if we can keep the roster stacked. I think our biggest problem right now is keeping guys on the roster. And we mentioned this and we alluded it to Cody. I mean, the Tremont Waters comparison I'm always going to make. There's no reason why this guy should be sitting around in the D League or on a bench in the NBA and not playing here. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think the culture of these guys leaving early doesn't make any sense to me. Darius Day's leaving right now and being undrafted makes zero sense to me.
I still just think there's no way he's really about to go. There's no way.
I think if anything, he's going to go do the Emmett Williams route, and he's going to go overseas.
Just like, why?
I mean, Emmett Williams has a reason, right?
Yeah, Emmett Williams.
He had a kid.
He has a kid. Fine.
And he was trying to go take care of his kid, and he wanted to go.
Days, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You can come back and be the best player on this team and potentially raise your draft stock by $1 million. And if that doesn't happen, you don't raise your draft stock by $1 million.
Right where
you're
you were
in the same fucking spot. You can't go down. I mean, I guess unless you get injured, but like
And the
you
only
can
thing
get injured anytime.
The only thing I can think of is okay, these guys are already thinking that they're going to come in with, I mean, I don't know what the salaries are overseas, like $200,000, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But like, are they thinking that they're going to have a year missed of $200,000 if they don't just go now?
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Do they have aspirations of making an NBA roster?
Apparently not. If Darius Gates goes now, then he does not.
That's what I'm worried about. Is like, why are these guys leaving to go not make an NBA roster?
Right. And the other three that
are we not paying them enough?
Well, I mean, Will Wade said it on the wiretap.
He said it already.
I'm paying him better than the G League.
Exactly.
He said it on the wiretap. And that was for Javante.
Yeah, that was.
So I mean, I can't imagine what Cam's getting paid.
Exactly.
I can't imagine what Trendon's getting paid.
Exactly. Depends on your star.
Rating. Nas, I'm pretty sure the number came out. It was
I'm sure
300,000.
That's what Arizona tried.
Isn't that what? Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. That's what Arizona was offering him. Obviously, we went over that.
Yeah.
So he was maybe getting paid for.
This is why Calipari hates our guts, is because he's offering a certain amount of money and Wade is beating his amount of money. This is just it's asinine to not just come out in the open and talk about this stuff.
Right.
And like let's just admit what's happening here.
Sure.
We don't know for fact, obviously, but like we're not idiots either. So
where's that freaking Excel sheet of just like, just college basketball salaries?
Yeah, like where it's at.
Yeah.
Somebody has that.
Like where does just a standard, point guard go for these days?
Like a
like if I wanted to just go buy
3-star point guard, do you think it's in tiers like that where it's like 3-star point guard?
Right.
Like how much? You're like, okay, it's only 50,000.
They're going up and their whole recruiting.
Like how much money do we have in our budget?
You know how you have
25? Okay, we only got a 2-star.
You got
small
a big
forward.
chalkboard and it has like your recruiting board. And then but you can flip it to the other side. So like on one side you have the part that like, the NCAA comes in and they're like, oh yeah, it's just a standard recruiting board. They're just, and then they flip it over and they got all the salaries laid out.
And it's like when the NCAA walks in, they like flip it and it's like legit. Like player rankings, and then they leave, and then they flip it back.
And there's a conversion chart of what the player rankings go to monetarily. Yeah, it reminds me of the.
There's an SNL skit.
The beach trip on The Office, and he goes,
"Oh yeah."
Well, Pam goes, "Well, on one you put you gave him a star, and then on this one you gave him a thumbs up." And then he goes, "Well, check to see if there's a conversion chart." And it's just like in a notebook. She goes, I seriously doubt it. Just go check. Or something like that.
There's a SNL video a long time ago about it's Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And it's Phil Hartman playing Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan was like the nicest, like, hey, little girl. And it was like, we had a Girl Scout troop coming in to meet with you. And he's like, oh, hey, how are you doing today? And they're like, okay, good. All right, they're done. And they walk out of the room. Right when they walk out of the room, he's like, okay, let's get back to business. And they flip the the wall like flips to it's like a world map. And he's like, we got to do this over here. Like, that's what it's like.
Okay. That's perfect.
All right. So we'll wrap it up here.
Well, you want to talk a little football?
We can.
Is there anything that we didn't get to with Cody?
Mason Smith is the guy that everybody's talking about.
Right.
And that defensive line is something that actually the defense in general.
My least favorite part about the spring game is watching the defense and offensive line.
Okay.
Because I feel like I never get anything out of it because the offensive line is always so bad in the spring.
Yeah, I'm just anxious to see the offense and see the rhythm. I think if you have a couple of missed passes and drops and maybe some offensive line issues, that's a problem. That's not a problem. It's
I think it is a problem.
It's expected to me.
It's expected. It's an expected problem.
Exactly. But I think that's normal for the spring, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
I think
but I also am just in general just worried about the offensive line.
what I want to see is out of the offense is just that rhythm back. I think we missed that last year.
Yeah.
I think that the offense was such a dynamic offense in 2019, and we honestly we shit the bed in 2020. We obviously shit the bed on the defensive side, but we also shit the bed on the offensive side.
Right, and we shit the bed just in terms of like creativity and like just minor details like that. But we also were missing a lot of things.
I
don't think we would have worried about it too much if we would have had Jamar and Miles Brennan and all of the players that like we lost.
I think the Miles Brennan stuff. Obviously, there was some issues when Miles got hurt. Everything changed, but before that, there was also some signs of like, okay, the offense isn't exactly what we were used to in 2019.
Right,
some things were at tweaked.
Right, there were drops and there just didn't feel
sure.
as
Which
as
I don't know if you're going to see that completely corrected in the spring. But I just want to see a progression.
What do you think about they're saying in goal line sets they want to be more traditional?
I don't mind it. I just want to see what that means.
I think it just means like, we're going to go more eye sets and stuff like that.
That's fine. I just want to see again, I want to see it in a progression. Like say we're 5 wide and we get down to the 10 and then we get down to the 5. How do they transition into that? I kind of want to see what that looks like. Even in 2019 we didn't do that.
Yeah.
So
right,
I
but
kind of want to see what that means.
But it was fine because we had a really, really good offensive line. We had Joe Burrow. I mean, that speaks for itself. And then we had Clyde, who's actually really good on the goal line.
I think this offensive line's going to be better than what people are thinking.
I'm just very worried about it. I don't see where we like tremendously improve, other than maybe just like I think Liam Shanahan maybe makes a big step.
But what about the development from one year to the next?
Sure, I mean, Deculus is still the right tackle. And
but it's
what is he?
Another year.
It's his fourth. Is his fourth year starting?
Yeah, but every year you should improve.
Has he improved in 1 year? He's just like in 2020. I feel like he was just as good in 2020 as he was in 2018 when he was starting. That's why I'm worried. I haven't seen him improve once. Even in 2016 when he came, 2017, I feel like he was just as good as he is now.
Yeah.
Hopefully he improves. I'd love to see that. But I don't know. I just don't see it yet.
I'm just big on like player development, and not just for football, but also for basketball. We've been talking about this a lot lately. Like 1 year to the next, we should see some player development.
Right.
And a guy like Deculus been around for so long. Yeah, he should be fucking developed.
Right. Yeah.
I agree.
He seems like a guy who should have been going pro right now if he would have been developing each year, but I just don't feel like he has. And he was starting in 2018 as a sophomore. So you'd think a guy who's starting at right tackle for LSU as a sophomore, you'd think, all right, he'll be going pro in 2 or 3 years, definitely.
Right.
And probably
or moving over to the left
for,
side next year, or whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
No, has anyone once considered moving Deculus to left tackle?
No.
Fuck no.
No,
because he's not good.
Yeah, we wanted.
Not that he's not good, but he's just not. He's not improving.
So a guy like Rosenthal at left tackle.
Rosenthal could definitely make a big step this year. Ken Wire behind him too. Ed Ingram, Ed Ingram is already really good. So
Jason Hines.
I
feel like you have a solid group of offensive linemen here.
Sure.
With a lot of experience.
And then it sounds like Anthony Bradford is really pushing for Jason Hines' spot.
Yeah.
Or
one
maybe Liam Shanahan.
One of the talks was in the I formation having an Anthony Bradford or a Cardell Thomas as a fullback.
Right. Although it doesn't sound like Cardell Thomas is really pushing for a starting offensive line job.
Right.
Which sucks to hear. Who else did he say? He said Charles Turner is playing well
as a center.
I guess I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
Although I remember last year there was one point where they said Charles Turner is the backup for all 5 positions. There was like 1 or 2 weeks where like we were low on depth or something.
Right.
Charles Turner was the backup at all 5 spots.
Okay.
So like I mean, Charles Turner is a great depth guy, I guess, because he can play so many different positions, which is great.
Right.
There was a third offensive lineman backup that Coach O mentioned today or yesterday.
Martinez
might have been it. Yeah, I think it was Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said that he's been having a good camp too.
I think he's a guard-ish kind of player.
Guard / tackle.
One of those guys
he's
from
kind of a
IMG.
swing tackle.
He was
type
from
guy.
IMG originally. So he was one of those guys that I was thinking of. Was like, okay, you take a guy from IMG with his size. I would think that he is a guy that can play early.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they've had a problem with these backups getting to the next level. Anthony Bradford, Cardell Thomas, Charles Turner, Cam Wire, Mario Martinez, 5 guys there that can't get to the next
Martinez
level.
has only been here for a year. So
No, 2 years now. This will be his second year.
I don't think that's correct.
Yeah. He's not a freshman.
He was a freshman last year, though.
Right. So this is be his sophomore year.
But he's a redshirt freshman.
He's a 4-star. We're talking about a 4-star.
I think he was like a borderline 3 or 4-star, though.
4-star. Charles Turner, 4-star. Cam Wire.
No, Charles Turner was definitely a 3-star.
Cam Wire was a 4-star.
Cardell
I
Thomas
do know
was a
that.
5-star.
Yeah. You have talent here.
Although he's been battling injury issues, to be fair.
No, I get it.
But yeah, no. My developmentally, Anthony Bradford and Cardell Thomas, I don't know how they're not in the rotation yet. That's crazy to me.
I think it has to
Those
do
guys
with
are very. They always talk about how talented those guys
yeah,
are.
but it has to do with Ed Ingram and Chasen Hines, right?
Right.
If you can't beat Chasen Hines, then you're not going to get a job, right? You have to beat Chasen Hines,
right? And Chasen Hines. I mean, he didn't have a great year last year,
but he had a great year in 2019.
Did he? He didn't even start.
He did for a few games, yeah.
What, like 1 or 2?
No, it was like 3 or 4. That was before Ed Ingram came back. Yeah.
No, because Adrian McGee was the starter.
Chasen Hines had a lot of playing time in 2019.
I don't remember. I remember he played a lot in 2018, but I thought in 2019 it was all Damian Lewis and Adrian McGee. And then who was the center? Lloyd. Lloyd.
Yeah, Kushner.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think Chasen Hines is going to make a big step this year, though. Last year was really his first year, like playing the full season. So,
all right. Do you want to get into last thing? We'll go to Tiger Droppings post of the week, and we'll start it now. We're immediately both going to Tiger Droppings post of the week right now. It's the Tiger Droppings post of the week. All right. Are you there?
Yep.
Tell me what you find.
Okay. There was one I was actually looking at earlier today. See if I can find it. Here we go. This is a question for...
I see some funny shit on here.
This is a question for you and me.
Okay.
Who is going to Pasadena? Are we going to Pasadena?
I'm probably not going to Pasadena.
Okay.
That's a big trip.
It is a big trip. And, I just don't know what's going on in California.
If I did it, it would be for, I would make it a bigger trip than just the game.
Right.
Right. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
Sure.
So,
fair enough.
The number one post. Why is Will Wade so hated by everyone?
Yeah.
Some of the Gumps swear, this is by Tut Hill Tiger. Some of the Gumps swear he's a huge prick and hated by everyone in college basketball. I don't know how anything about him except for that he can recruit and we are good again. What the hell? Anybody know anything on this topic? He's got 3 downvotes. He's succeeding in a place where he's not supposed to succeed at. It's as simple as that. Here's another one. The court will never be named after Dale Brown.
No, and it shouldn't fucking be.
If there was a chance, it has vanished over the past 2 years.
A few years ago, I would have said, hell yeah, it needs to be Dale Brown Court. But, I mean, geez. Also, can we stop talking about what the court needs to be named and build a new arena first?
Oh, there we go.
Because, my God, I hate the PMAC, man.
We can make that a One Team, One Podcast initiative. I feel like one of the initiatives right now is the Joe Burrow statue.
Sure.
We can kind of take the reins on that. We'll make their reins on a new PMAC.
Okay.
Smoke Laval was fired for one sub 500 SEC season. This will be Maneri's fourth, and the season appears to be a futility record. It's
Holy
not the
fuck.
fourth. It's not the fourth. SEC season.
SEC regulars. Yeah. SEC record. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of sub 500.
Here's one thing that I know about it. Smoke Laval. He got fired, and they went to like back-to-back Omaha appearances.
Okay.
And then like the next year, he was like, they were like mediocre, and he got fired.
That's too quick.
Well, everybody kind of saw the writing on the wall.
Not knowing any of the other details, that's too quick.
It was like the guys who was there already for Skip, and it was just a trajectory of like downward.
Okay.
Between Skip and Smoke Laval.
Okay.
The one thing that I know is that fourth. I don't think this is the fourth.
I mean, I can name a couple off the top of my head.
LSU.
Yeah.
For Paul Maneri.
Yeah. I mean, 2010, the year after we won the Natty. I know we were shit that year. We got into the tournament as like a.
Okay, so
that was the year that Matty Ott was a starting pitcher, and it really
okay.
poorly.
So that's what I remember. 2007 was the last year we didn't make the tournament.
Okay.
And it's been that long since we hadn't made
Right.
the NCAA tournament. I don't think we're making the NCAA tournament this year.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest talking point right there, is that we're not making the tournament this
Right.
year. You don't make the tournament one year at LSU for baseball, and you got to be done. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see how long it's been since we had how many losing SEC seasons he's had. Paul Maneri was the coach in 2007, right?
Yeah, that was his first year.
Okay, so that was one of his four.
Yeah, that was his first year taking over for.
It's hard to blame him for that one because.
Oh no, absolutely not. Nobody does.
That's not. Fair.
He took over for Smoke,
right?
And so
it's like blaming Nick Saban for going 7-6.
But the next year was 2008, which was one of the most amazing years that I can ever remember. I'll never forget this year. We go on vacation around Memorial Day every year, and we were there with you guys, and I was that was the year where we won like 30 something games in a row. To get to, like, we won the SEC tournament.
Oh wow!
And we got to Omaha and everything.
Did we stay at the beach club that year?
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely
think
remember
so.
that.
We were like on the first floor somewhere.
We were somewhere in Orange Beach.
We're on the first floor. I remember that because I remember listening to the SEC tournament game on the radio.
I remember that beach trip, and I watched a bunch of Tim Tebow highlights.
Okay,
that was
that was
around
2008.
That was right around when I started getting into football a lot. It was a big time for me.
So that year was amazing to me because of the streak that we went on. We ended up losing to North Carolina, if I remember right. We had a game against Rice where we hit a triple. Blake Dean hit a triple to win the game, and it was like he scored like 3 runs to win the game. It was like an ultimate Jim Hawthorne call on that one. But that year was amazing to get the ship righted, and then 2009 came the next year.
Okay.
So that roster was kind of in place.
It was 2010 and 2011 were his other two losing records in the SEC.
Okay.
So
coming after 2009, it was like he had this aura around him at that point with winning
Right.
the championship.
Right.
You can kind of get to that point. But when Bregman came in 2013, 2014, 2015.
Oh yeah. No,
Like,
it was
we
like,
were-
all right, Paul Maneri's back on top.
Yeah,
Like,
we were
it felt
great.
like it at least.
Man, the year that we had Rafe Rhymes and
Mason Katz.
Alex
Bregman was a freshman on that team.
Dude, we were loaded.
That team was nasty.
That was fucking loaded.
Who are our
We had
pitchers?
Ronaldo.
Nola, huh?
Nola was young,
but he was still Nola, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was always sick. Jared Foster was on that team, huh?
Foster was on that team. We need to talk about him on that team.
Mhm.
We need to get back over to Bogies, by the way. We'll have another show over there soon.
Who was our third baseman on that team? I think we had a really good third baseman. No,
I can't remember.
No, I'm thinking of Tyler Hanover.
We had Ochenko at first.
We did have Ochenko.
Yeah, I can't remember third.
Wait, what was the guy's name from Catholic? I can't remember his name. He hit a walk-off home run against ULL in the regionals.
Not the guy at center, right? That hurt his neck real bad.
Mm-mm. No, he didn't play center. He wouldn't. Incredible. Shambra.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played center. And he hurt his neck real bad on a.
Okay.
He dove for a ball in
Chris
center field.
Shambra. Yeah.
And he broke his neck.
I always loved that guy.
He literally broke his neck.
Oh shit.
Yeah. At
I think
LSU.
I broke his fucking neck. Should
Yeah.
I not make that joke right there? I don't know.
Yeah, who cares?
Fuck it.
He's fine now.
He's not.
He's
listening.
good. He's living.
Yeah, that's good.
So
good for him.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm buzzed.
Nice.
I'm straight up buzzed. I'm feeling myself slurring my speech. I need some food. I need it now. Burritos, I think, is what we got on tap. Summer's got some burritos on tap for me.
Nice.
All right. We appreciate everybody checking in tonight. Bank of England Mortgage. Check those guys out. You see them right here at the screen. You can't really see it very well. I'm going to fix that. But Patrick Michelson, check out Bank of England Mortgage. We appreciate their sponsorship. Courtesy Buick GMC. We got Bear Process Safety. We got Ether Insurance. We got Relief Pools. Get yourself a hot tub with Ben Landry. We got Bogies. We're set with sponsorships at this point. We could take more.
No.
We can take more.
We're not set.
Yeah, we can always do more.
We're far from set.
We're gonna always do more. We have a lot of plans for One Team One Podcast. By the way, guys, I am in marketing. I am full of ideas. I always have an idea. And
I want to play golf.
Yeah. So our idea
Whoever
right
wants
now
to pay us to play golf.
Our idea right now is I want to make a Louisiana golf tour. And my dog is barking in the background. I don't know why.
There's a person walking.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a person walk. Oh my God! They just turned this way. They're wearing a hood.
They're wearing a hood?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they just turned up your driveway.
Well, you don't want anything to do with this house. I'll tell you that. All right. So we got we want to do a Louisiana golf tour. There's the Audubon Golf Trail. And I want to make something different than the Audubon Golf Trail. And I want to make it for amateur golfers like ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're definitely amateurs.
Sure.
And I want to show the amateur golfer out there what is out there in Louisiana for different golf courses in Louisiana. Also, we are developing One Team. That is another platform that is Facebook and Twitter and Instagram so far. One Team is our parent company, and we are going to hopefully build some podcasts underneath One Team, and this is one of them, One Team, One Podcast. But One Team will be more all-inclusive for like regional SEC, not just LSU and not just podcasts, but we'll also be doing all kinds of other things with One Team.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon account. We have all kinds of shit going on. So I'm busy. So also, if you need advertising sales, look me up. I do TV advertising. So ding.
There you go. TV and podcast advertising.
Exactly. Also, oneteamonepodcast.com. Check us out. You see it at the top of the screen. Our biggest thing right now, I think, was our Masters gear that we just did the Masters gear, but also comfort color T-shirts. We have tons of comfort color T-shirts. I'm trying to do like different apparel that people would wear like normally. Oh, that was just a Amazon or UPS guy. Maybe it's some shoes.
Oh yeah,
I got some shoes coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that those golf shoes?
Maybe some Chinese shoes.
Chinese shoes, huh?
All right. I'm going to have a talk with somebody. These are Chinese Jordans that I'm wearing right now.
Chinese Jordans.
Yeah. I have no shame in my game.
Could not.
You can't
look
tell.
More like just normal Jordans.
They look like normal Jordans.
I couldn't.
They're from China. I don't know if they're not normal or not. Everybody tells me, the people that are like big in the shoe game tells me that this is a no-no and you shouldn't do this. But they look like normal Jordans to me, and
You're saving a lot of money.
Yeah, I could take these back and like resell them on Facebook for a lot.
Jeez.
So I don't
Would
get
you do that?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I
I'm
would
just
do
trying
that.
to look cool.
I would do that.
All right, so we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We still got 5 people watching.
Really?
I feel like I'm drunk as a skunk right now.
Why are y'all still watching?
I don't know.
We're not even saying anything interesting.
We appreciate it. Yeah, so
we haven't said anything interesting in like 20, 30 minutes.
I don't know. I feel like I just the more I start going on,
Did anybody leave yet? No?
the more inebriated that I get during the
All right,
show.
whoever stays on last.
All right, okay.
Well, I was gonna offer you some money, but then I realized I don't have any money to offer. So.
We'll give you a $20. All right, the last person that stays on, we'll give you a $20 gift card or a bar tab at Bogey's. Okay, so I see 5 people on right now. The last person that's on, you have to send us a message in the chat. Tell us who you are. So the other 4 people need to get off now. They're not.
I think
off.
we've just locked ourselves.
They
in.
I think they're just like sleep.
How long can we honestly do this?
They're sleeping right now. Something's going on.
Everybody chat if you're freaking listening. Are you even watching at this point?
Are you even watching? Yeah.
Y'all haven't chatted us.
It's 2 hours.
In like 45 minutes.
All right.
Are y'all even there? There's
still here. Garrett
okay.
says still here. Garrett's not gonna get it.
Thank you, Garrett.
Garrett, you're an insider. You're not gonna be able to get it.
Yep. That would be cheating. So there's
right.
only 4 of you left.
There's only 4 other people that are watching. All right.
They're not leaving.
I'm going to leave the chat in just a second. All right. 5.
Overlay the chat.
4, 3, 2, 1 team, 1 podcast.
Logging out.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7. Let's go! 1 team.
Relax, big boy.
Team One Podcast? 1 Team 1 Podcast? Yeah, they did a good job.